You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
All set for your flight?
Yep, I've got everything I need. Eye mask, neck pillow, T-Mobile, headphones.
Wait, T-Mobile?
You bet. Free in-flight Wi-Fi. 15% off all Hilton brands. I never go anywhere without T-Mobile. Same goes for my water bottle, chewing gum, nail clippers,
okay,
passport.
I'm gonna leave you to it.
Find out how you can experience travel better at T-Mobile.com/travel.
Qualifying plan required. Wi-Fi were available on select U.S. airlines. Deposit and Hilton Honors membership required for 15% discount. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where a lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Jeff and I will be your host today. We have quite a few people in studio and joining us via the interwebs. So Neil, why don't you tell us about our three teams?
Sure. Well, joining us as always are Ken and Matt, who are in studio. How's it going, guys?
Yo, doing good.
Ken is wearing a tank top. Is that a band, Ken? Health?
Yes.
Oh, that's a cool shirt.
They played at Riot Fest. Unfortunately, they had some technical difficulties, but great band.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to check them out. Well, starting off in studio is our friend Beth from Glen Ellen. How's it going, Beth?
Good.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found the show and how much you like trivia?
All right, so I'm Beth. I live in Glen Ellen. I am a stay-at-home mom and pre- and postnatal fitness instructor. Right. I found Triviality through another podcast and I basically listened to the whole catalog in about a month. So
wow.
That's perseverance right there. I would not be interested in doing that.
Yeah. So I found you guys because one of you mentioned Roosevelt Street on the Trivial Warfare episode you were on. I was like, I live near Roosevelt. And then I looked you guys up and I realized that you guys were nearby me. So I was pretty excited about that.
Yeah, like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We are a very convenient podcast for you. So.
Yeah, you are. I'm like, I drove down this street going to the zoo. I know exactly where you're at.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah.
So Beth is going to be on a team with Ken, and their team name is going to be Team Beth Metal.
Yeah. Because she's Beth and I'm a little bit metal, I guess.
Yeah, you're a little bit metal. She's a lot of Beth. And
it's that titanium hip we put in you, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, joining us over Skype, we're going to start first with a United States champion Patreon supporter out in Los Angeles, and that's going to be Robert Dimitri. How's it going, man?
Hey, it's going great. Nice to be on the show and meet you guys. I'm a fan. It's been fun listening to you.
Well, thank you so much. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're up to out there and how you got into trivia?
So I live on the west side in LA. I work for a little production/management company here. For somebody in my demographic, my trivia story is probably pretty common. Grew up playing Trivial Pursuit, watching game shows, doing all that good stuff. And recently, over the last year and a half, pretty much all my podcast consumption has been trivia podcasts, including yours. Really into game shows and board games and all that kind of stuff. I've been lucky to get on a couple game shows since being out here in LA. It's really easy to audition when they're right down the street from you. So,
which ones have you been on?
I was on The Chase on Game Show Network.
Very cool.
It's been a lot of mention of that show lately.
Yeah, it's worth a check out. I love their format.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yeah, it's a fun show. I was bummed it got canceled. I'm actually one of only 3 people who got to go on it twice.
Wow.
Ooh.
They brought back 3 contestants who were
extra handsome
losers who had done well.
Oh.
So we got to try to team up and take revenge.
So you were Survivor's Rupert of the Chase.
Yes, exactly.
That reference is lost on a lot of people.
Not you, though.
I got it. I stopped watching Survivor shortly after that.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it and also appreciate you supporting us. And also supporting us, coming to us right outside Minneapolis, is Dave Brown. How's it going, Dave?
Doing all right. So good to be on the show.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I live up in the Minneapolis area, bar manager at a restaurant. Play trivia on some nights off when I can. Listen to a lot of trivia podcasts. Just always enjoyed trivia growing up. I remember doing brain quest stuff in 6th, 7th grade with my with teachers and stuff. Always did pretty well at it, and just kind of caught the bug about a year ago. So
Yeah, and for these guys, we asked them to pick a team name, and we did a little word association. Said name the first word that pops into your head. One of them saw the Batman poster and said Batman, and the other one panicked and said. So they're going to be Team Guano.
Team Guano. And one more thank you to Dave for also being a United States champion Patreon level. And I'll throw it back to Jeff. But if you'd like to join us and support the show, just go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast.
And you guys are going to be Team Sad Meal? Is that what?
We're going to be Team
Well, we're going to start
Happy
as Team
Meal.
Happy Meal.
Happy Meal.
And we'll see how it plays.
Because Matt plus Neil is
Matt
Meal.
Neil.
It's our celebrity couple name.
Happy Meal.
It's a Jeff game, so I bet by the end we'll be Sad Meal.
Well, I have a lot of people to thank for helping me write this game. Unfortunately, I haven't written anything standardized in a long time, which means I have to catch up on a lot of question 5s. So there's probably about 12 question 5s in this game.
Right.
I will change the numbers for sake of keeping everything in order. But few disclosures, I may have changed or altered them slightly to change the difficulty or mostly in the direction of down. And if I get your name wrong in the pronunciation, as always, I apologize. But let's just get that out of the way because there's quite a few of those. So,
all right.
Hey, Jeff, do you mind if I toss it to the rules guy?
You know what, Ken? I don't.
I love tossing it to the rules
Sure
guy.
do.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Whoa, that was a good one today.
The joke that never died.
No.
Ken won't lend it.
Take it away, Jeff.
All right, so first question in the first round is going to be from Josh Martin. Thank you, Josh. What island sits at the confluence of the St. Lawrence and Ottawa rivers in Canada and is the second largest island in the St. Lawrence River?
You know anything about this?
I do not.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah.
We're locked.
We're locked in. If Team Beth Meal, you're welcome to talk. I'll mute you guys real quick.
I'm just going to come up with some kind of French. How about La Pierre?
That sounds good to me.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, guys, feel free to talk. Everyone's locked in.
Is that French for the Pierre?
Yeah.
All right, Dave. You're the northerner here.
Yeah, but I really haven't gone up and down the lock system of the St. Lawrence lately. Dude, I got nothing. I would say like the island of Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh man.
They renamed it after they sank it.
The only other one that's really coming to mind is Prince Edward Island, which is a province. So I don't think that's it.
In my mind too, and I was like, I know that's out that area, but we can just put Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
All right, Guano's locking in with Prince Edward Island.
Yep. A reasonable guess from Guano. We're going with La Pierre.
Yeah, we don't know anything about this, so maybe Newfoundland has a Newfound Island, so that's what we said.
Unfortunately, it shares its name with one of the largest French-speaking cities in the world. It is Montreal.
Oh.
Oh.
Montreal's an island?
The city itself?
The city? Yeah, it's also an island.
Huh.
Good to know.
Starting off with a solid 0 points all around.
Definitely a Jeff game.
You didn't write that one.
He chose it, though.
The questions choose me, which I think is probably about right. All right, the second question in the round. This one comes from our friend Chris Eve. Thanks, Chris. He wrote a little category. It's Are You Feeling Randy? I wonder where this direction's going.
Yeah.
Then known as Randy Poffo, what MLB team signed the Macho Man as a catcher out of high school?
We're locked in.
All right, so Macho Man is from here.
Okay.
Do you want to go Cubs or Sox?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
All right, we're going to go Sox.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, I remember looking this up once, and I can't remember what frickin' team it was.
I mean, for me, it'd just be a 1 in 30 shot, really.
You want to just go with the Braves? I kind of think that kind of rings a bell to me, but
That's fine with me.
Okay, well, I thought he was from around here, so between the Cubs and the Sox, and we went with the Sox.
So Beth Metal going with the Sox, and I think Neil is the one who maybe keyed in on this first out of the duo over here.
Yeah, the only reason I know this is my uncle Jim used to play baseball with Randy Poffo. He was his pitcher, and Randy Poffo was the catcher, and I just knew from that family connection that he was drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals.
Ah.
And Neil is correct. He remembered his family's story well. So
I am right that he's from here.
Yeah, he's from here. Then he moved to Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. On to question 3. This one is courtesy of Ron Denny. So Ron asks, who was the first president to campaign via telephone?
Is that like industrial age robocalls? Like, hello, please vote for McKinley or whatever.
I say so. I say.
Yeah. Like, hello, is Tom there? Oh, well, then maybe you could help me.
It's like, are your candles lit? Do you like electricity? Yeah, okay. Team Happy Meal's locked in.
So I am thinking maybe like the Kennedy area.
Yeah, I was thinking it's probably later than the dawn of the telephone because it takes a while for that stuff to catch on.
Hold on, let me connect this wire.
Yeah.
To this wire. Maybe a little bit after that kind of went away.
So maybe, well, let's see. Roosevelt used the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it would have been before or after that?
After.
After?
I think.
Okay.
I think maybe Kennedy.
Kennedy?
Is the
Okay.
right way
We
to
can go with that.
He's a charismatic fella.
So I think after Roosevelt, you're thinking maybe Woodrow Wilson in the late 1910s as somebody using it as a tool. I like Wilson.
I like Wilson because he won twice. His first campaign was really contentious against Roosevelt and Taft, and I don't know.
Use the new move. All right. Well, let's lock in with Wilson then.
All right.
Okay.
Guano's locked in with Wilson. What'd you say, Beth Metal?
We thought it would be when the telephone became much more convenient, so we were thinking maybe 60s, and we went with Kennedy.
Huh.
Yeah, we had no reason. Went way too early and said Rutherford B. Hayes.
Well, you did go a little early. Everybody else went a little bit late. So I'm not quite sure if it was done initially as a stunt, but I can imagine if you wanted to reach out to people at this time who had phones, those people might be wealthy or well-connected. So it was actually the predecessor to Roosevelt. It was McKinley.
Oh, I said McKinley.
Do you like our power on?
I just did McKinley because it sounded like it would be good.
Old-timey. Vote McKinley.
And then people were so annoyed with the robocalls that somebody shot him.
Yeah. I thought about putting, it may not have helped his prospects, but I didn't know if that would help anybody. But
would have helped me.
I may have to back some of these off a little bit as far as toughness. We've been told we need more history questions, so another history question. This one is courtesy of Katie DeWall. Thank you, Katie. Who is the only U.S. president to be buried in Washington, D.C.?
All right, well, we're locked in with a thing.
All right, so I'm thinking maybe a military person buried in Arlington.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. I was trying to think of people that are from the area, but I would think the only ones I could think of would have like family estates, like Washington and Jefferson being from Virginia. But yeah, military, so...
Maybe Grant or Eisenhower?
I could see it being Grant. That sounds good to me.
We're going to go with Grant.
Rob, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to let you do this one yourself.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a 1 in 45 shot.
Naming presidents, but I don't know where they're buried.
Less than that.
Yeah,
several
these names just popped into my head, but that doesn't mean anything. I don't know.
40? 1 in 40?
You know, as I said, I've heard this before, but I just don't remember. I can't think of it.
39?
I did used to live in the D.C. area, which makes this even more shameful. But just because Coolidge was the first one that popped into my head, I guess I want to say him.
Go for it. Fire.
Okay.
Honest
We'll
Cal.
Calvin Coolidge.
All right,
That's
locked in with
not
Calvin
it.
Coolidge.
That's Honest Cal.
Silent.
Did you want to go over our reasoning?
Yeah, so we were thinking it would be someone military being buried in Arlington Cemetery. And we talked about a couple different ones, and we landed on Grant.
Okay. Neil had no idea here, which helped me because I also had no idea here. I went with a president who ends up being the answer to a lot of trivia questions, and that's the only reason I picked him, and I said Grover Cleveland.
All right, well, out of your 1 in roughly 40 chance, I can't remember how many are still living, Unfortunately, it was not a famous military president. It was Woodrow Wilson.
Oh.
Being the only one buried in D.C. So question 5 today is courtesy of Ben Jenkins. Thank you, Ben. This is very much up my alley, though. By area, what is the smallest U.S. state whose name begins with a vowel?
Yeah, we can lock in.
Okay. All right, we're locked in.
I'm kind of between Iowa and Ohio.
I think
but
Ohio would be my vote
would be
on
smaller.
those. Yeah.
Okay, we can go with that.
So I think it's one of the I's, and I don't think it's Idaho. I think that's too big. I feel best with Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable with that as a guess. Of the three that I'm questioning now, I really don't know. So if you're leaning toward that, that's cool with me.
All right, we'll lock in with Iowa.
Okay. We made a list and checked it twice, and we're going with Ohio.
We were like really between Iowa and Indiana. We couldn't tell which one was bigger. And I'll let Matt take it from there.
Yeah, well, I was saying Ohio, but I remember driving through Ohio, and that takes forever. And then it just came down to, I think Iowa's smaller, so we said Iowa.
All right, so the state in question was mentioned. Of the smallest that have a vowel to start, Ohio is the second smallest. Because Indiana is the smallest state that starts with a vowel.
It just seems like it takes forever to drive.
Larger than that, Alabama, Arkansas, Iowa, and then Illinois is the 25th largest. So
all right.
It's really great smack dab in the middle.
Indiana is all the way down there at 38 by area.
After 5 questions, let me just add this up really quick.
Shouldn't take too long.
Okay, carry the 1 and 0 points all around.
We have 10.
We have 10.
You have 10? From what?
From Macho Man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Macho Man. They got Macho Man.
So on to question 6. This one.
You guys got one of the Beanie Babies you didn't have in your Happy Meal.
Question 6 is courtesy of Jason Heaton. Thank you, Jason.
Oh, Jason.
What two families who lived in the West Virginia, Kentucky area from 1863 to 1891 were notorious for having a long-lasting and bitter feud between them, resulting in dozens of family members being killed or wounded? It's also the name of a miniseries that ran on the History Channel from 2012 to 2012 with Bill Paxton and Kevin Costner.
Yes. Okay, we're locked in on our end.
Okay, we are in with the Capulets and the Montagues.
Okay, you guys feel free to talk.
Hey, Dave, I think we're going to finally score some points.
Yeah, I got the Hatfields and McCoys.
I'm with you. Bill Paxton versus Kevin Costner.
Classic rivalry.
I just think of the Waylon Jennings song, Lukenbach, Texas. So,
Yep, we had the Hatfield McCoys too.
So did we. I wrote McCoy, and Matt wrote Hatfield. And we did a little dance, and that's what we came up with.
And it is a clean sweep for Hatfields and McCoys.
Yes.
Did anybody need the TV reference? I added that on.
Yes.
No,
I didn't,
not.
but I
didn't.
needed his Hatfield, though, for sure.
Okay.
And I needed TV, because I always need TV.
All right, question 7. This one actually was written by me. So
Hooray. Well, maybe not.
Hey, he did some
Probably
work
not.
today. For
I
this
did put
episode.
in a little bit of work. What city holds the distinction of being both the most populated city in the southern hemisphere and is home to the largest population of Italian-descended peoples, larger than even Rome?
I like the way it looks on a sheet, too. We're locking in. You guys
Okay.
can chat.
I wrote down a couple here. Mexico
Okay.
City, Rio de Janeiro, Laos, Sao Paulo, Mumbai, Bombay.
Not enough people.
Okay, I have Rio, Sydney, Cape Town, and then Manila and Singapore. I know you said Laos. I'm not sure if that's a country, and I know it's above the southern hemisphere.
What's the city? Okay.
Yeah, or at least I'm pretty sure because I've been to Vietnam, and I remember being disappointed I did not cross the equator to get there.
Okay.
And it's right next to it. We could do something in India. I think that goes south enough. I'm very horrible with Indian geography,
Yeah,
so
it's pretty tough.
I'm not sure where the things are at.
I'm
but
an expert.
Should we go with New Delhi?
we could go with New Delhi. I'm fine with that.
let's
Let's just
try that.
go with it.
We kind of shot around South America for the most part. Talked about some places in Brazil, but Rob was pointing towards Buenos Aires, and I was keen to agree with him on that, so we locked in with Buenos Aires.
Wow, we feel really good because Matt and I wrote a bunch of South American countries we didn't know, and this is the truth. Matt wrote Buenos Aires, and we're like, it looks really nice on the piece of paper, and we went with Buenos Aires.
That sounds really nice.
It means clean air, so it should.
Yeah, that's probably why.
We went
Good air.
with New Delhi.
All right.
Which they just opened a New Delhi down the street. I'm
yeah.
excited to check
I
it
prefer
out.
the old Delhi.
I knew that was coming too. All right, so Buenos Aires, Argentina. Sorry, I don't know why I did that.
It sounded good.
It did. Buenos Aires has a population of 12.5 million, but it's only the second largest city in the Southern Hemisphere. You should have thought Brazil, with a population of almost 18 million, Sao Paulo is the largest city in the Southern Hemisphere. For the record, I looked up a bunch of cities that were mentioned. Manila, all Northern Hemisphere. Everything in India is in the Northern Hemisphere. I mean, stuff is not as far south as you think it is.
I'm just happy I wrote Sao Paulo down on the page.
Yeah.
All right. Question 8 comes to us courtesy of Peter Wen. Thank you, Peter. This is an arts and crafts question. In what activity will you see the terms gauge, pearl, circular, and cast on?
Yep. We're good.
Right. Pearl, gauge. What about like
blacksmithing?
Glass making or glass molding. Whatever they call that.
Yeah.
Because like they use the, I don't know.
So
they pull out the hot poker. They put the weird glass on it. It melts, and then they spin it.
Okay, so I'm gonna ignore that because I don't think that's right. Does it have to do with sewing? Knitting?
Circular.
Like,
yeah.
Isn't a pearl like a knitting style and a gauge? I don't know. Well, I took a sabbatical from my sewing circle because they were getting too catty, and now I'm forgetting all the terms. But
that's because you were like, "Hey guys, we're gonna crochet tonight," or it's not crochet, it's knitting, or whatever.
It's crotchet.
Crotchet. Well, I mean, if you think, what would you call it then?
We could say crochet.
Crochet.
Yeah.
Okay. If it's glass making, I'm gonna be really angry.
That'd be glass blowing.
Glass blowing.
I love how Neil always has the disclosure that if he's wrong, or if he's right but everybody else is wrong, he's mad.
We're all locked in, guys.
So I just told Dave here, my first thought was the term gauge, I know is related to piercing, like the width of a piercing. Okay. Let's go with that.
Be a craft and an art in its sense.
Yeah.
I think it depends how well it's done, right?
A lot of hipsters up in this area, I think they would call it art.
Yeah. That's mostly what art is, right? It just depends on how well you do something.
All right, so I'm really glad you guys went with crochet because the answer is knitting. I'm a big crocheter, so I know that those are not crochet terms.
Oh. Well, spoiler, we put crochet.
And double spoiler, the answer is knitting. So gauge generally is just referring to the thickness of something. So like if you're thinking about gauges or piercings, those are just like the thickness. You measure sheet metals generally by gauge or wire by gauge. That's just the thickness of the material. So.
Well,
can you go over the finer details of what the difference between crochet and knitting for these guys?
Yeah, I'm actually
I
curious.
know. But for these guys.
Well, knitting's the one with the two sticks, and you cast onto one stick, and then you loop onto the other stick and go back and forth.
So you just click them together and a quilt comes out.
You just go like that. I don't really know the finer details of knitting, but crocheting, you have a hook, and you make loops, and you pull the yarn through the loops over and over and over until you've made a quilt.
That's actually very helpful because now I'll remember crochet is with a hook.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Candyman crochets people.
That's correct. He's arts and crafts man.
Right.
I will say, full disclosure, when you said gauge and I wrote it down, all I thought about was the last name of Channing Tatum's character in Step Up to the Streets.
Of course you did.
And it did not help me whatsoever.
No, it did not.
Not surprisingly. All right. Question 9 is a listener submitted question. I listen to the show every week, so it's from me. This famous musician had his eye in the sky when he was hired on to be the sound engineer for Pink Floyd's arguably most famous album, The Dark Side of the Moon. Who was this sound engineer turned musician?
He was a
We are going to lock in with some
that he had his own album.
Real crap.
Okay.
So we discussed, I feel like this is a Chicago Bulls reference song because I think Eye in the Sky is the Alan Parsons project. And it's the entrance song for, the 90s Bulls for Michael Jordan and all that stuff.
It sure was.
So, yeah, so I figure we went with Alan Parsons project.
That's a pretty good guess. We stuck with a progressive musician as well and went with Geddy Lee.
I used to do an impression. I can't do it right now. I'll let Matt talk about it because, I didn't even think about the Chicago Bulls connection, and that sounds really good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why you're letting me talk about it because it was your story, but something about Jimmy Iovine and something about Bruce Springsteen, and we said Bruce Springsteen.
1, 2, 3. What's the answer, Jeff?
So the Chicago Bulls intro is Sirius, which is a constellation. It is by the Alan Parsons Project. And those two songs are played together. Sirius and Eye in the Sky is generally considered one song. And I figured I was going to make the Dr. Evil Moonbase reference to tie that one more to the Dark Side of the Moon, but it was Alan Parsons.
Yep.
I knew that was called Sirius. I didn't know it was called
Good
Eye
job,
in the
Dave.
Sky.
All right. And last question in the first round is from David Wilkinson. Thank you, David. And I altered this one slightly. How many of the 50 official two-letter state abbreviations are acceptable words in Scrabble? Now, I'm not asking for the exact number. I will give you credit if you are within 3.
Okay.
No, I mean, I'm pretty good with that. I think everything you said.
I think we'll be within 3. I think we'll lock in with 15.
Okay.
Yeah, we kind of went between 11 and 13, so Happy Meal is going with 13 officially.
And we were more conservative with what we thought were words in Scrabble, and we landed on 8.
All right. So two teams will be getting credit for this. And
Let me
one
guess.
team was only off by 1. It is 16 total.
Wow. So
There
we
you go,
got
Rob.
points, right?
Yes.
So
if
we
you
were
are-
close. It was only twice as many.
If you are curious, it is Alabama, Arkansas, Delaware, Hawaii, Idaho, Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Maine, Michigan, Missouri, Nebraska, Ohio, Oregon, Pennsylvania, and Utah. Those are your 16 playable.
Good joke.
All right. So going into the swing round, looks like the scores currently are Team Beth Metal and Team Guano both with 20 points. And Team Happy Meal, surprisingly, with 30 points.
Yeah, not
Right.
surprised here.
Hey.
So I'm going to give you artists, and I'm going to tell you. So I'll give you an original artist, and I'll give you the person who covered their song and made it more famous. And I
Okay.
want the song
Okay.
title. So
Okay.
number 1 is Edna Swap, 1995. Natalie Imbruglia did it in 97. Second one, Tina Turner did it originally in 86. Ace of Base did this song in 94. Robert Hazard penned the song in 79. Cyndi Lauper covered it more famously in 83. Question 4 is Gloria Jones in 65 and Soft Cell in 81. Question 5. The original was by Otis Redding in 65 and Aretha Franklin covered in 67. Question 6. The original is by the band Arrows in 75. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts covered in 81. So number 7 is going to be The Leaves did this song originally in 65, and the Jimi Hendrix Experience covered it in 66. Apollonia, number 6, did this song originally in 84, and the Bangles covered it in 86.
This is much easier. Thank you.
All right, the next one
Glad
in the
to hear you
round
say that.
is
Kidding.
Slade did it originally, and Quiet Riot made it famous in 83. And this is 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, and number 10, Tommy James and the Shondells did it in 1967, and it was made famous by Tiffany in 1987.
All right, looks like all the teams have locked in their answers after the swing round. Before we continue, just wanted to give a shout out to Patreon. We have 2 United States champion level Patreon supporters here today, in Dave and Robert. So if you'd like to join us and support the show for as little as $1 a day, you can go to...
You always say $1 a day. You're really pushing for that money.
Hey, everything helps. Patreon.com.
I'm actually not giving y'all $1.
Yeah, correct. So yeah, you can just go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast. We hope you're enjoying our video bonus series, which will have concluded at this point, but we're going to have a season 2, and we are going to pick exclusively from Patreon supporters in a lottery. So if you'd like to join for season 2 at any point between now and spring, feel free to join Patreon.
And we'll have a vote where you can pick Ken's shirt for the next season too.
Oh, there you go.
That would probably go over well. Your last shirt has met rave reviews.
Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah.
5 stars.
That's great.
Good job.
I even made a Yelp page for it.
Like, I wear that shirt. It's not like... It's not a joke.
No, it's a great shirt.
Oh, thanks.
You did make a joke of it. When you
I'll
said
wear this shirt
you wear it
next
to
time.
distract from your
Cool.
face, but
Yeah, next time it'll be all tanks, either all tanks or all long sleeve shirts.
I'll wear my health tank next time with the big skull on it.
all right. So we are all locked in and ready for the answers. So let's just keep it in the same order here. I'll go from I'll start Guano, and I'll do Beth Metal, and then Happy Sad Meal. Where are we at over here,
I'm
guys?
pretty happy.
I'm pretty happy.
Okay,
Still in the lead.
still Happy Meal. Okay. So I'll do that order for all of them, and we'll go from there. So the first one, Natalie Imbruglia and Edna Swap's original.
The only one that we know is called Torn. So that's our answer.
All right.
We said torn as well.
Yep. Both teams are right. I'm torn.
Yeah. You're not a little late, it turns out, on this one, Matt. So you are all correct. The famous Natalie Imbruglia song "Torn" is actually a cover. The original is very slow and pretty good, but a very different song.
Contrary to very popular belief, not about Rip Torn, actor.
I did not know that was a controversial, unpopular belief.
I like to think if two people say it's true, it's pretty popular.
I always thought that.
That's how it works with our listenership, right? There's like 10, 15 people out there.
Yeah.
All right. And the second question, what did you say for Ace of Base and Tina Turner, Guano?
So Team Guano didn't think it was The Sign, which was the first Ace of Base song we thought of. That just didn't seem like a Tina song. But the song Don't Turn Around, assuming that's what it's called, seemed like it could have been a Tina song, so that's what we said.
Team Beth Metal had a similar train of thought, but the song that we thought sounded like a Tina song was All That She Wants.
Yeah, so many great songs to choose from now that I'm thinking of all these, like Don't Turn Around and I Saw a Sign and whatnot, but we also went with All That She Wants.
Well, only one team's getting credit.
Oh.
It's Don't Turn Around.
Oh, wow.
Yes! Rob tells you on that one. Good pull. Nice pull.
If I had thought of All That She Wants, I would have said that.
I was joking with Neil beforehand. I was like, I wanted to put more effort into this round, but after like an hour and a half of listening to the original songs on this list, I basically squandered my question writing time. So it was well worth it, though. All right, Guano, what did you say for Cyndi Lauper's cover of a Robert Hazard song?
Guano thinks that one would be True Colors.
Team Beth Metal, we could not think of a Cyndi Lauper song.
We're going to go with Baby Got Back.
So we're passing.
Yeah, we were thinking of a different Cyndi Lauper hit and went with Time After Time.
Oh.
Unfortunately, I'm sad to say nobody is going to get this song, which is one of her more famous Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Oh.
Really? I think that would be a cover.
Oh.
Yep, that was a cover. All right, and on to question 4, back to Guano. What Gloria Jones soft cell covered song did you think that was?
Guano said the famous Tainted Love, which is one of the few songs I've ever actually danced to.
Footage or it didn't happen.
Yeah, I didn't really think it was a cover, but Tainted Love is the way we had to go.
Oh, yeah. And in the song Tainted Love, in the soft cell version, they do a little nod to the old version with the piano there. So we went Tainted Love.
Neil with a little bit more flair on that one. It was Tainted Love. Well done, everyone.
All right.
Neat.
Guano, question 5 was the Otis Redding hit that was made famous by Aretha Franklin.
Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
RESPCT. Respect. That's what it means to me.
Yep, RESPCT.
Yeah, surprisingly, we didn't, on this team, we didn't go These Arms of Mine, used in Roadhouse and Dirty Dancing for lovemaking scenes. But we went with RESPCT, which I learned recently.
Yeah.
Respect.
One of her most famous songs is a cover, and it's Respect.
What song do you use for your lovemaking scenes?
Let the Bodies Hit the Floor.
Bodies by Drowning Pool. Good choice. So are we right?
Yeah, you are right. Question 6 was about the Arrow song that Joan Jett made famous. Which one was that, Guano?
You did I Love Rock and Roll.
Beth Metal?
We're going to go with Queen of Winter Throned by Cradle of Filth.
Ooh, Cradle of Filth.
Matt, do you want to take this one?
Nope, because I don't remember what we put.
Oh, so originally we wrote I Love Rock and Roll. We weren't sure. We thought maybe that was Joan Jett, and our affinity for Ronda Rousey in the WWE, we went with Reputation, her entrance song.
Joan Jett covered I Love Rock and Roll. It was I Love Rock and Roll.
We did right then and crossed it out. Good for us.
All right, question 7. Mm-hmm. This one I thought was one of the harder ones. So it was The Leaves, and then the Jimi Hendrix Experience covered it a year later. What did you guys think over in Guano?
We went with Foxy Lady.
That's probably what we should have done. Just pick a Jimi Hendrix song. But we're just going to go with Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah. I initially wrote down All on the Watchtower because I know it's a cover, but it's a Dylan cover. But I thought maybe there's another cover. But we actually ended up going with a song that we covered in our short-lived cover band.
Our cover band, Matt and I were in Vinnie Barbarino's Dream Machine. We covered this song.
It's Foxy Lady. That's what we put down.
Okay, so authorship of the song is unknown, but the first known recording was by The Leaves. Rolling Stone rates this song 201st on their list of 500 greatest songs of all time. It's Hey Joe.
That's what I was going to say in my reassessment.
That's a dark song.
All right, on to question 8. Apollonia 6 did it a few years before the Bengals made it very much more famous. What'd you say, Guano?
We said Walk Like an Egyptian.
That is literally the only Bengals song that we know.
Yep.
So that's what we went with.
The only thing I can contribute here is that the Bengals did Manic Monday, but I believe that was written for them by Prince because it sounds like Prince. So we went Walk Like an Egyptian.
Well, Neil, you're going to be wishing it was Sunday. It was just another Manic Monday.
I thought Prince wrote that. Or maybe he wrote it for the other band.
So Prince wrote Manic Monday for the band Apollonia 6 for their self-titled debut in '84. Ultimately, he pulled the song from the album and later offered it to the Bengals under the pseudonym Christopher.
Okay, so my background was correct, but my follow-through was
your
not.
answering was not.
So there was a recording done by the original band, and then
Awesome.
it
I
was,
like that Prince's real name is Prince and his pseudonym is Christopher.
All right, question number 9. Slade original in '73, a British glam rock band, and Quiet Riot made this song famous in '83. Which one was that?
Dave definitely wants to perform this one.
Yeah. Come on, feel the noise.
Yeah, we went with Feel the Noise as well.
We assume they might have had a different spelling of come, but we said, come on, feel the noise.
Yeah, it turns out, no, both of them spelled it that way. It is Come On, Feel the Noise.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the noise
terrible.
is spelled differently.
With a Z, right?
Yes. Yeah. There are several words spelled differently in that song. Title.
They did their best. They're musicians.
I don't know about that. And the last question of the
They
round.
knew what they were doing.
Tommy James and the Shondells penned this 20 years before Tiffany made it famous, at least considerably more famous. What song was that?
I think We're Alone Now.
Yeah, but what song? Beth?
It's the only Tiffany song I know. Give me a break.
Yeah, same. Only Tiffany song I know is I Think We're Alone Now.
Yeah, and we were just trying to make sure this wasn't Debbie Gibson, but we also went with I Think We're Alone Now.
Yep, and a clean sweep for the final question in the round. Yeah, I Think We're Alone Now is probably the only Tiffany song any of us could name.
All right, after the swing round, it looks like Team Beth Metal has 45 points going into second round, and tied at 55 are Team Happy Meal and Team Guano.
I feel like we're getting beat up, but we're not that far back.
No.
No.
One question back.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of bad about us, but they're a little bit ahead.
That's
we
how
have
we
the
like
coolest name, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. If it comes down to a tiebreaker, that's actually what it is. So.
All right, what do you have for us, Jeffrey?
Yeah, moving on to round 2. What's up?
Jeffrey.
Jeff doesn't
Why-
like when we call him Jeffrey, so I just say it all the time.
I just want my name partially redacted. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So first question in the second round, and most of these are written by me. So, but I think they're not too bad. We'll see. So question 1: what is the smallest U.S. state by area where 2 or more football teams play?
Are we talking about professional football teams?
We are talking about 32 NFL teams.
And is
Gotcha.
this where the team is from, or where they physically play the game in a stadium?
Where 2 or more football teams play.
Okay.
This is right then.
Okay. Yeah, we're locked in.
I'm trying to think of places that have 2 or more teams.
There's something with New Jersey.
They have the Jets, but do they have anybody else?
We went with New Jersey
Mhm.
because we know that the Jets and the Giants both play at MetLife Stadium, I think.
Yep.
I
Home of
believe that is
WrestleMania.
over the river in New Jersey.
Yep, that's what we figured is that there was some New York runoff into New Jersey.
Yep, both teams play in New Jersey.
I think there is only one NFL team that plays in New York, which is pretty funny.
It's Buffalo.
Buffalo, right?
It is Buffalo, and the smallest state by area is New Jersey.
All right.
Anybody know?
Got a football question.
Anybody know the second smallest state?
I stopped thinking, so.
Yeah, we're done.
It's Maryland.
Oh,
Okay.
Baltimore?
Baltimore
Ravens?
and Washington
yeah.
both play in
Oh.
Maryland.
Oh, you're right.
And it's not much bigger. But question number 2. You might see this prescribed over the counter. Dextromorphan can be used to treat uncontrollable laughing or crying. But what is it most commonly prescribed or taken for? It's probably in your cabinet at home.
He might be overestimating
I
people's
might be.
medicine cabinets.
Yeah, yeah.
My over-the-counter Xanax that I keep in my...
I am very much not.
So it might be something with like
Well, Vapo Rub.
vapor rub. I
All right, we're locked in, so we can
Or
get
Tums.
these guys back on here.
think that's just calcium.
Yeah, I think so
Oh,
too.
Yeah.
Calcium carbonate.
Yeah, so we picked up on dextrose being sugar. Lamorphan, Morpheus got us sleep. We thought possibly NyQuil. Kind of sweet, knocks you out.
The best medicine around.
I guess we'll just say for treating cold.
Okay.
symptoms.
Cold and flu.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna say we think this might be Pepto-Bismol, so we're gonna say nausea, upset stomach, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt and I went with cough.
So you might find it in NyQuil or DayQuil. But the thing that the active ingredient tries to do is it tries to suppress coughing. It's a cough suppressant specifically.
So Happy Meal staying on top right now.
Staying happy so far.
It's all that sweet and sour sauce for our chicken nuggets.
All right, on to question 3. This one provided to me by Jason Heaton. Thank you again, Jason. What planet has the strongest known winds, with clouds of methane whipping across the planet at speeds of over 1,200 miles an hour? I will be more specific. I mean planets in our known solar system.
Yeah, there could be one way up.
Because I know that's coming.
Actually, Rigel 7 has the fastest.
That's a star.
Whatever. Is it a thing?
Kepler.
Yeah.
19.
Which one do you like?
You guys locked in?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're kind of between Venus and Mercury right now. Both big, or well, not big, but gaseous planets.
Actually, we're right after Venus and Mercury.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we were talking about probably one of the gas giants, Saturn or Jupiter, and then we decided because of the big red eye and that giant storm that's on Jupiter, we locked in with Jupiter.
All right. As for us, that was the first direction that we were going, and then for some reason, we just thought about Venus a little bit, and that kind of triggered something, so we're going to go with Venus.
Yeah, we're in the same boat. Didn't really have a reasoning for it, just knew it was a big old gas planet. So Venus it is.
It's not a gas
Venus is one of the rocky planets.
Whatever.
Just for clarification.
No.
I do think Venus might have the thickest atmosphere, mostly carbon dioxide. And I think Saturn and Jupiter are mostly hydrogen helium, but it is Neptune with the most violent storms.
The one that nobody said. Great.
Nobody even mentioned it.
I know.
Unfortunately for Jupiter, I mean, it's not going to happen in our lifetimes, but very shortly here, its great red spot is disappearing, so it's only got a few hundred years left.
Oh, no.
Well, it's one of those things we've noticed basically since we had the ability to, about 400
My
years ago.
not children are going to be so disappointed.
I know.
I'll never get to see it with my own eyes.
So you're never going to not see it.
All right, question 4, again, courtesy of Jason Heaton. What South Asian nation is credited with pioneering the concept of gross national happiness, ranking first in economic freedom, ease of doing business, and overall peace? It's also purported as having the second highest per capita income and is considered the least corrupt nation as of 2016.
You said South Asian?
Yep. They also must be chill from having fun playing with all of those lighters.
All right, we're all in here. Reluctantly.
Yeah, we're kind of struggling with this one. All right, let's go with Singapore, I guess.
Okay. Team Beth Metal went with Singapore as well for similar reasons.
Wow. I usually say Macau for a lot of these questions because I know there's a big casino there. A lot of people are probably happy making money, but they could also be equally upset not making any money. And then Matt wrote South Korea, and then we ended up kind of writing some extra ones, and then Matt chose
Thailand.
Okay.
Just for point of clarification, Macau and Hong Kong both belong to China, at least as far as China's concerned, and the UN. Nepal's next door neighbor, and this is, you might hear the slight rhyme scheme, is the country of Bhutan. Butane would be the joke with the lighters.
Boo, Jeff, boo.
I did not
write it. Jason, boo. We love you,
Jeff,
Jason.
If you had given us the clue their national sport is archery, I would have gotten it. That's the one fact I know about Bhutan.
Or sovereign nations with dragons on their flags.
Now I know 2 things about Bhutan.
And they invented the idea of gross national happiness.
Now I know 3 things about Bhutan.
Stop before I learn too much.
What's great about Bhutan is they're very good about moving to the next question.
Good segue, Neil.
All right, then. Question 5, a listener-submitted question by No Surprise from Ron Denny. Thank you, Ron. In 1950, Chuck Cooper made NBA history by becoming what?
The only thing that we really thought of that was like of some historical significance was that perhaps he was the first player of African American descent. So that's what we're going to go with.
We also said the first black player.
Yep, and we did as well.
Yeah, he. I will give points on that. He is one of the first two players of African American descent to play in the NBA, but he's also further known for being the first black person drafted by any NBA team, and he was drafted by the Celtics.
Oh,
right, points all around.
This one is courtesy of Colin Jacobs, and the category he wrote for this one you're going to be pretty familiar with. The category is the cream of the crop.
Oh.
So the 1990s were a decade of music evolution as hip-hop emerged as a mainstream radio staple. Credited as one of the powerhouse groups of its time, this clan of New Yorkers would go on to release 4 gold and platinum studio albums. What is the name of this group?
Oh. Yeah, that's right. We're in.
Let's just go House of Pain.
Okay.
Just for that reference.
I will trust you on it.
You shouldn't. They're definitely not like triple platinum. Maybe that song is, but they don't have 4 records that are.
Yeah.
All right, all of us are in here. What are you guys thinking?
This clan of New Yorkers, so we just went with the Wu-Tang clan.
Mm-hmm.
God. It was
All right, so Wu-Tang Clan, what did you say, Beth Metal?
House of Pain.
Yeah. And I think Cream, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money.
Get the money. Dollar bill, y'all.
Wu-Tang Clan.
So Colin originally wrote this with a bonus point, but I don't like bonus points, so I took it out. But he put, what is the famous phrase from their hit? And I didn't even need to prompt these guys. Cream, get the money.
Yeah.
Dollar bills, y'all.
I should have heard Clan, but I missed that.
I downplayed that well then. So
this Clan, New Yorkers.
Not that much. It's definitely there. So yeah, Wu-Tang Clan for credit for the 2 teams.
Yay!
Question 7. This one is courtesy again of Colin. Thank you, Colin. Known to some as the Forgotten Occupation, the U.S. military occupied what Caribbean nation from 1915 to 1934, following political instability and the murder of their dictator president, Vilbron Guillaume Sam?
We're in.
I don't know.
Which one do you like out of those? We can just circle it.
Let's just lock in with Jamaica.
Okay.
I'm going to shoot in the dark here and say Jamaica. Lock in.
All right. We wrote a couple Caribbean nations down, and we thought the name that you mentioned sounded possibly Haitian, so we went with Haiti.
Ooh, we had that one written down as well. We had a bunch of names, Haiti, Jamaica, French Guiana, Bahamas, Bermuda, but we just kind of settled on Jamaica as well.
Yeah, not as famous as one of their later leaders, Papa Doc. The U.S. had invaded Haiti and occupied it for quite a long time. So points, yeah.
Yeah, no one else got them, so...
Those are the best.
Yeah.
All thanks to Beth on that one. That was all Beth.
3 points. I admit it freely.
All right. Question 8 in the round is courtesy of me. It is hard to verify exact numbers, but it's believed that what famous world capital and center of scholarship stole the title of the world's largest city from Chang'an, China in approximately 934 AD?
I don't. Maybe Athens. It's too late for Athens.
You think Rome then? Rome and what's the other one? Moscow?
Yeah.
I'm good to go with everyone. Moscow, I feel like the capital changed there a ton, right?
That's probably true too. It would probably be something else before then. So we want to just lock in with Rome?
Yeah, Rome's fine.
Okay.
I kind of like, I don't know. You want to go with Constantinople or Istanbul?
Yeah, let's do that.
Whatever they want to call it.
All right. Well, I think we were on the same page thinking of the library at Alexandria when he said scholarship. So we said Alexandria, though I don't really have too much background on that.
That's a good guess.
Yeah, and we were looking at places that time period that would have huge scholarly populations, and we stuck with Rome.
Unfortunately, nobody picked up on the clue. So stealing was important. Maybe a thief would steal.
Mm-hmm.
The city in question is Baghdad.
Dave actually said Baghdad. We did say it once.
Yep. Well known for being one of the first cities over 1 million people, and known for its Muslim scholarship and a lot of the philosophical preservation of the West at the time.
Neat.
Good question.
Beef.
Did it used to be known as Alexandria by chance?
It did not, as it turns out.
Shoot.
So unfortunately, you cannot get credit on that. All right, question number 9. The barleycorn is an unusual base unit of measure for what? It's almost exclusively used in English-speaking countries, and it doesn't even bother to be standardized.
We don't really know. We just kind of said a handful. It's a measurement. There's no standardization. It's just a handful of barley corn. So.
All right. Well, we were kind of similar. We just said, well, unit of length.
Yeah.
Like you line up those barley corns and see how high you could stack them.
I feel like I heard once that 3 barley corns equals an inch, but
So Matt and I were talking. We threw a lot of things out, like the size of your farm, like instead of acres. We threw out the type of mechanical machinery you might have and how much you have in your fleet. And then Matt came down with the final answer.
Yeah, it was the measurement of the amount of I give about this question. My apologies.
I mean, I want to give you points just for the face of it. You are very correct that a barley corn is 1/3 of an inch. It is the base unit of measure for shoe size.
Shoe size.
It's only used in the U.S. and U.K., and those shoe sizes don't align. So it's the base unit of measure for 2 different systems.
Points?
I'll give points.
Yeah, Beth did say it was.
It is of length.
She knew exactly.
okay.
So how many barley corns does Shaq have?
Yeah, it turns out it's non-equivocal. I've tried to figure it out, and the 1/3 of an inch does not equate to shoe size even slightly. But it's the official base unit.
So when you have corns on your feet.
Oh, that's where it comes from. You're right. Good call, Ben.
Question number 10, the final question in regulation. What 1994 film had an Albert Einstein, played by Walter Matthau, help a young Tim Robbins pretend to be a physicist in order to catch the attention of Einstein's niece, played by Meg Ryan?
Wow.
I used to watch
1994.
I've seen this movie.
Yeah. I used to watch this movie all the time.
I think I got it too, though.
Yeah, so I wish this entire quiz had been about 1994 films. I think I would have done great.
So would Neil.
Yeah.
But we went with the movie called IQ.
All right. Well, we tossed around a few things. I came up with a few imaginary names. Stroke of Genius and my personal favorite, It's All Relative. And it would have, Einstein shrugging on the cover or something like that. But we went with IQ Test.
Okay. So this one, I knew it. I've seen it a million times. I used to rent it from Blockbuster or watch it on cable when I was younger. And I couldn't think of the name, and I kept writing clues to Matt, and he was writing PhD and MBA and all these other things. I was like, no, it's 2 letters. It has dot, and he wrote IQ, and I was like, that's it, IQ.
And the answer is IQ.
Yeah, we were close.
I should have let you make us go with it.
That's okay.
All right, going into the final round, the game is super tight. Looks like with 85 points, Team Beth Metal is in 3rd place. In 2nd place with 95 points is Team Guano, and narrowly in the lead is Team Happy Meal, still happy, with 105 points. What are our categories for today, Jeffrey?
I think you're going to like these categories today. So the categories are Michael, Jim, Dwight,
oh my goodness,
Pam, and Kevin.
Okay. Now, do those names mean something, or
This is a false flag.
All right. So the first question in Michael. Michael Jackson is one of the most successful solo artists of all time, but his 2001 solo studio release was not the comeback album he had anticipated. What is the name of Michael Jackson's worst-selling studio album, which shares its name with a 2006 film?
You know what?
Yeah.
Next question is in Jim. Jim Carrey, one of the most eclectic artists of our time, insisted that what American metal band play and appear in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective? The band is most famous for their song Hammer Smash Face.
Of course I know this.
Next question is in Dwight. What 2 states were added to the United States during Dwight D. Eisenhower's second term? Next question is in Pam. What actress replaced Pamela Anderson on Home Improvement playing the character of Heidi? Mm-hmm. And the last question is in Kevin, near and dear to my heart, which is why I went with Kevin as opposed to one of the other characters. If you're playing 6 Degrees of Separation, the name of the game is to try and find a way to get to Kevin Bacon. If playing that game in real life, you might need to first go through what Emmy and Golden Globe winning actress that he's married to.
Okay, I got that one. All right, all the answers are locked in, Jeffrey.
Yep, so I'll go to each team in turn if you want to give me your wagers first for each question, and then we'll get to your answers. So, what was your wager on the Michael question, Guano?
We went with the Illusionist.
What was your wager?
The 19.
Okay, so wagering 19, and you said The Illusionist.
It's a great movie.
Beth Metal?
We're between Unbreakable and Invincible, and I think the 2006 one was Invincible.
All right, and on to Team Happy Meal.
We went with the Oakland 5, and Matt came up with this one, and I confirmed it by saying, you remember the movie Me? Mark Wahlberg? So what was the answer, Matt?
I had this album just had nothing but guest appearance after guest appearance, and it was Invincible.
Yep, not to be confused with the Mark Wahlberg 2006 movie Invincible. Is correct.
That's 0 points for us.
Yeah.
That sucks when it's 0 points for a correct answer.
Yeah,
that always hurts.
That's going to be a theme coming.
Yes.
coming forward here.
And the question in the gym round, I think this one is probably the hardest one. No, you don't think?
I'm a huge Jim Carrey fan though, so I can't say.
He's an Ace Ventura fan. I'm a metal fan.
Yeah.
That's fair. But what was your wager? You're sticking with 19 on this one. Is that correct, Guano?
19's all the way down.
And did you come up with the band name in Ace Ventura?
I don't know.
Man, we said the band Anvil.
Okay.
The rock band that never was, that didn't make it.
And Team Happy Meal, which metal band was this? What was your wager?
We wagered another Oakland 5, so we're at Oakland 5 all the way down. So it's easy. So Matt, same thing that happened earlier today. Great teamwork. I said one word, he said the other. What's cool about this scene is some TV broadcast show it or don't show it. So depending on what cut of the movie you see, it's either in there or not in there. And so I wrote Cannibal and he wrote Corpse.
All right, and Team Beth Metal, with a name like Beth Metal, I hope you get this one right.
Yeah, we actually goose-egged all the way down on this one, and it's Cannibal Corpse.
It is indeed the band Cannibal Corpse.
Everybody got that.
And remember, it's the white clam chowder that'll get you in.
Is that the red or the white?
Never remember that.
White? Yes.
All right, your question in the Dwight round, sticking with 19 points. Team Guano, what were the two states added during Eisenhower's term?
Hey, I think we got one right.
Yeah, we said Hawaii and Alaska.
And for nothing, we said Alaska and Hawaii.
Well, not for nothing, but for 0 points.
So we originally wrote Hawaii and Alaska. We wagered 5 on this. And then I said, that sounds too easy. Maybe it was the 48th and 49th state. And we said Arizona and Hawaii.
I do love that this caught somebody out. It is, in fact, both, I believe, January 1st, 1959 for Alaska, and Hawaii was in December, I think. But yeah, Dwight D. Eisenhower brought in Alaska and Hawaii. All right, and the question back to Team Guano in Pam. What actress replaced Pam Anderson on Home Improvement playing the character of Heidi? What did you say for that one?
Famous for the TV role of Sheena, we went with Gina Lee Nolan. Classic role from the 90s. Good stuff.
Okay.
Maybe she was doing 2 times.
And once again, for 0, we're going to say this was Tima Allen.
I couldn't think of the name. This is a really tough question. I believe the character's name was Heidi, but I think the actress's name, she has like a alliteration. It's like Debbie something. I couldn't remember because this is a really tough one. So we just said Debbie, even though it's wrong.
It's not totally wrong. It's not right enough for credit, but it is Debbie Dunning.
Oh.
And yeah, basically she didn't really do anything else after that. So
couldn't pull it.
Team Guano, again, wagering 19. Who is a Emmy and Golden Globe winner who also happens to be married to Kevin Bacon? What'd you say, Guano?
I think we got another one right. And with my Hollywood wheeling and dealing out here, I actually just spoke to her on the phone about a week ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's Kira Sedgwick.
All right, and Team Beth Metal for 0 points said Kira Sedgwick.
We wagered 5 because we wagered 5 on everything, and we also said Kira Sedgwick.
Yeah, she was nominated for Emmys, Golden Globes, and SAG Awards, I think like 3 or 4 years in a row for her work on TNT's, is that The Closer? I'm trying to remember
The Closer, yep.
Yeah. But yeah, she also happens to be married to the very notable Kevin Bacon.
Well, after the final round here, I did the math in my head. It was correct, and I double-checked on calculator, so I'm proud of myself.
That's definitely what happened.
So in third place with a very strong showing, just the Guano 19 kind of overtook them here in the final round, is Team Guano with 76 points.
Yay!
In second place with a very conservative 0 all the way down is going to be Team Beth Metal with the year of my birth, 85.
Good year.
Good year. And in first place, we're happy. We gave away a lot of toys, a lot of fries, and we're going to be Team Happy Meal today. It's 110 points. Today's cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop!
Here are your chicken
Good
nuggets.
job, guys.
Yeah, great job, guys. That was a really close game the whole time, and it, like as always, it's the final round.
Man, just getting beat up the whole game.
Yeah.
We're like, let's bet 0, and then they're all gettable.
Yeah, we should have bet.
In short, thank you, sirs and madam. May we have another.
Well, let's first say thank you once again to Robert and Dave for joining us today. So, Dave, any last words today before you head out?
I want to redeem myself one of these days. That was a lot of fun. So thanks for having me on.
Of course. Thank you for joining us. We'll have to have you on again.
We will certainly have you find your way back.
Well, thank you over to Robert over in Los Angeles for joining us today. Any last words for you?
Yeah, just thanks, guys. I really enjoy the podcast. I'd also like a chance to redeem myself someday. It was a lot of fun getting to play. And if any of you are ever out in L.A., come look me up. I play at O'Brien's every Wednesday night. It's a lot of fun.
Neil
Awesome.
never goes there. So.
Yeah, Robert, I'll actually be there in a couple of weeks, so we'll meet up.
Cool.
So awesome. That sounds great. And then thank you also for being a Patreon supporter. And thank you for coming into the studio today, Beth. Any last words for you?
Yeah, you're welcome. If you're a mom, check out fitformom.com for fitness classes. And yeah, thank you guys for having me. If you guys ever
I'm
need
not
like
a mom, but can I still?
I don't know if they'd be comfortable with you there.
Yeah, okay. I won't cry.
But if you guys ever need a last minute person, I'm 20 minutes away.
Yes. So fitformom.com.
Fitformom.com. The 4 is the number 4.
Wonderful. And congratulations on your upcoming baby.
Yeah. Yes, I'm a person and a half right now.
And she did tell us before the show that she has an envelope with Jeff, Neil, Ken, and Matt in it. So we'll pull them at random after the birth. But yeah, thank you very much for joining us.
Is that what that $5 bills you slid across the table earlier before?
Yeah. As long as it's NEAL, not NEIL.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much for everyone. Thank you to all of our listeners for all those submitted questions. And Jeff, I'll let you close out the show with whatever you'd like to say.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I'm clearly out of question 5s now, so please send those back in. I plan to write more games here coming up, so I do apologize that we did not get around to those as quickly as I wanted to. But as we usually say, if you want to join us, a fun place to do that would be at the Facebook group, The Crop. We have a lot of fun there. We do daily questions, and it's just a nice place to kind of interact with other people in the community. If you'd like to directly support the show, you can do so at patreon.com/trivialitypodcast, where you can qualify then for some other bonus incentives. Currently, we are gearing up in short order, should be a week or so. We're going to launch a t-shirt campaign where we're going to be having those at heavily discounted prices for the first 2 weeks. So yeah, you'll go basically into the queue on those. Your t-shirt will ship at the end of the campaign. But having it out there for 2 weeks allows us to get a big bulk order together and offer them at much lower prices. So they will be available for sale after that. The store's not going away. It'll just convert to slightly higher prices. But
extremely high price.
No, not at all.
$99.
Not at all. The purpose of them is if you like our logo and you want to wear it, we want to make sure that you can do so.
I mean, how much can a t-shirt cost? $200?
When are you guys gonna do tank tops? That's the
you could just rip the sleeves off and you kind of do your own
right
thing.
in time for winter.
All right, and thanks again to Robert, Dave, and Beth who joined us here, and my normal co-hosts Matt, Ken, and Neil. That was Triviality.